Yo team, what's going on? It's Ryan Scotty with my buddy Nick Bomby here from Glass Castles. I want to give a little bit of a drum clinic today. I've been on and off teaching him drums for about the past year and a half, I would say, something like that. Two main things that I guess that we're going to try and put in one video. Number one is how do we warm up our wrists? How do we get those muscles in our hands active for when we're going to play? After that, when we do some rudiment stuff to warm up your hands, we're going to talk about a basic groove or a pocket pattern for the full kit. So we're as loose as possible, we're also fluid, and we're not tensing and using up a whole bunch of energy that we don't want to waste for our performance. We're going to talk about rudiments that are pretty standard. Tons of other videos out there on rudiments and a lot more notation that you can find with simple Googling. So I'm not going to bother trying to recreate that. I'm just going to share with you what I teach and what works for me and what's worked for me over the last 15 years. And so we're going to talk about paradiddles, paradiddle diddle, which is my personal favorite rudiment, and then a compound rudiment, which is putting those two rudiments together to help keep your mind active while also being able to switch between right and left hand as your lead hand.
The first rudiment we have is a single paradiddle, consisting of 2 single strokes followed by 1 double stroke. Each rudiment shown here is intended to be practiced starting very slow, gradually speeding up, and then gradually slowing back down, otherwise known as playing open, close, open. The second rudiment that we have is a paradiddle diddle, consisting of 2 single strokes and 2 double strokes, making your starting hand the dominant hand the entire time. And finally, the compound rudiment that I like to use to warm up consists of 2 paradiddle diddles and 1 single paradiddle. When you place the accents on the single strokes, the resulting sound gives you 3 accents per hand in a triplet feel before switching to the other hand. Here's a closer look at this compound rudiment slowed down. Here, we can really get the sense of what's really working within our hands and our wrists. There are a lot of different ways to teach double strokes, but the way that I was taught it is known quite simply as the bounce. And you can see here in this slower video how I'm really squeezing between my pointer finger and my thumb and using the bounce of the stick to pull the stick back up for that second stroke.
So now that we've done all of our warm-up rudiments and we've warmed up all the muscles within our hands and our wrists that we want to utilize when we're playing the kit the most efficient way possible, we're going to start talking about groove patterns. And the very first groove pattern that I learned starts with your feet. And we've often talked about drums, you maybe have heard it from a couple of different people, how drums are the heartbeat of the band, right? And the heartbeat, that pulse, definitely represents the kick drum or the bass drum. Now, an often kind of hidden thing that is lost is your left foot. Now, depending on what your dominant foot or hands are, maybe you play the hi-hat with your left hand being the lead, in which case you would kick with your left foot. Totally fine, same concept. The upbeats would just switch to your opposite leg. And so when we talk about upbeats, I'm going to put the notation on the screen here so you can actually see it. When we talk about the bass drum usually filling the downbeat, which is always 1, and probably 3 as well when we're talking about a basic pocket, while the snare drum occupies beats 2 and 4 for your basic rock pocket. The left foot will go on all the upbeats, so if we were to simply count it, we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All of the ands happen with your left foot. Now it seems like a really super complicated concept to start, but once your body starts to get used to this, I promise that it opens up a whole world, allowing you to separate all 4 of your limbs that much easier to play these complex sounding grooves when you're not really doing that much because you've trained your left foot to always stay in between the dominant beats. And so the first beat that I learned was called, what are we told?
Together, right, left.
Together, right, left.
Together,
And Frankie
right,
D,
left.
that goes out to you, my buddy.
One of my favorite beats.
That's right. So that represents your feet. Cool. Together, right, left. And it starts just by working with your feet, representing what it goes. Together, right, left. That keeps going really slowly, sounds like this. Together, right, left. Together, right, left. So now, right now, might sound like we can't really feel where the actual beat is at, but I'm going to keep the left foot going and add where the snare comes in, and it's all going to make sense. One more time. Together, right, left. That leaves our right hand to be added. The upbeat with the hi-hat. That's that in-between part that we have to train our body to get used to. Counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's together right left.
And here's the together right left pocket played by Nick that he's been developing over the last year. When you start to feel more comfortable with your limbs feeling independent, you'll automatically start to flow freely around the kit.